Okay, this video is going to show you how to add an update routine to move the viewport. So if you've got a tile map or a level that's really big, then this will allow you to scroll around automatically. One thing that you need as a prerequisite here is you need the world size to have been changed. Now if you created a tile map, you'll have a line like this where you've said to the engine what the world size is and that it's bigger than the screen. If you're not bigger than the screen, this ain't going to work very well. Okay, so let's find a sprite that we want to do this with. Okay, and I've got one here, my basic player sprite. All it does is it moves around. And I'm just going to add an update routine. So on update, and I say plus equals. I'm doing it after I've moved the sprite, so that the viewport is in the current sprite's position. So I'm going to call it move viewport. You can call it whatever you want, whatever makes sense to you. Mine's pretty general. It doesn't exist, so I've right clicked and said generate method stub, and it just creates that for me. Right, now all I'm going to do is I'm going to center the sprite. So I'm going to say gm.engineManager.view, and this is the current viewport. You can do multiple viewports in this, but I'm just going to use the basic one, and I'm just going to set the X position. Now the viewport, we specify its position by saying where its top left hand corner is, so where this area is of the viewport. So what we want is the, well, let's put this dot, the player sprite's position. Okay, now depending on whether you're aligning, what I might do for super completeness, I'm going to say center 2D X, and I'm going to subtract half the screen width. Okay, so that I keep the player in the center. If you want to experiment with different values for this, fine. And we can get this half the screen size by saying center X. Okay, and I can do exactly the same for the Y. So I just copy and pasted that and change all the X's to Y's. So we're saying sit the player at the center of the viewport and move everything around. So not much code, but here's the amazing effect. So I'm running it, just pressed F5 if you've got the keys set up properly. So as I move anything, oh, it's not doing anything, but there you go, it's scrolling to show my whole tile map because it's moving the view. Now we can put some debug information on screen so that we can make sure that that's working how we think. So let's go to our game container, and on the debug display let's put viewport, and that will display viewport information. So let's run that. And you see it's got viewport information, and it's got X and Y are at 0. So as we move the sprite now, you'll see that those numbers change. There you go. And if I go down, so you can see. And this value up here where it says viewer, that's basically recalculating the center of the viewport. That's used for 3D sound effects and perspective projection as well. Okay, so that's it. That's how you do moving of a viewport. So you add an update and you put that code in it, and that's it.